Hi everyone, and welcome back to the neighborhood. This video is gonna be exactly what it is. I haven't been on here for a few weeks now. It's taking me time to adjust and things like that, but I wanted to give you guys an update. So I'm just gonna get right into it and say I had a miscarriage. Now, for those of you who've never experienced a miscarriage, or for those of you who have, you probably know exactly how I'm feeling right now. So I just want to get this out and get this done as quick as possible, just so I can continue on healing, basically. So I wanted to share with you guys this update and what has happened. I've been getting a lot of comments in my other videos of congratulations and things like that, which I'm very thankful for, and I appreciate a lot. But all I can respond is writing thank you. I've been wanting to personally tell people in the comments, but I didn't think that was right. So I would just make this video and just get it out there and let you know now. At 5 weeks and 4 days, I started spotting, and it was followed with cramping. I didn't think too much about it because you can spot and everything be okay, and then you can spot and everything not be okay, which that ended up being my case. So I started spotting at 5 weeks and 4 days, and I was having cramps. The cramps are cramps I was just constantly having since I found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't too worried about that to begin with. Um, Me and my hubby, we planned a trip to go up north to spend time with each other and just enjoy. So I put my cramping at the back of my mind and said, okay, let's just go on this little mini vacation and enjoy each other. Um, and then I'll come back and be able to have my ultrasound. Yeah, so 5 weeks, and I was actually 5 weeks and 6 days when I started bleeding. I have my notes here, so that's what I'm reading off of. If you guys are wondering why I'm looking down. So that wasn't too concerning. Me and my hubby, we started getting ready for our trip. And then it came to, by 6 weeks and 2 days, I was getting headaches, heartburn, a lot of saliva in my mouth. At nighttime, my regular nausea, my short temper, which was regular. Emotional, I cry easily. Uh, what? Okay. My daughter's here for moral support. I'm here to support mom. Okay, go and play for a little bit. I hear the knock too. I will check. It's probably my Amazon packages. Just go sit down. Okay. I'm really thankful for them. Anyways, so at 6 weeks, one day, I was having all those symptoms. I was having uncomfortable sleep and extremely thirsty. And then on 6 weeks and 2 days, the light spotting. So after the 5 weeks and 6 days, the light spotting sort of disappeared at 6 weeks and one day. So I was like, okay, that's okay. But then it returned at 6 weeks and 2 days. Then I was having brown discharge. And then my back started to cramp a lot. I still had my very sore nipples, which was related to my pregnancy symptoms. So that wasn't too concerning to me. During this period, I tried to contact my OB. And as I mentioned to you guys previously, she's a very popular woman, and I couldn't even get into reach with her. So I was just having appointments with my family doctor at this point. So I didn't think too much of it. I just said, I did research. I was trying to be positive. I said, okay, this happens sometimes, so maybe it's nothing. And then at 6 weeks and 3 days, I was getting more brown mucus. It wasn't like bright red. It was like old blood. Mucus and discharge and a lot of cramping. And then I was feeling a lot of cramping on my right side, which seemed very strange to me. I was getting diarrhea, and then after my diarrhea, like later in the day, I would feel constipated, or maybe because I crapped all the whole day, I couldn't use the bathroom afterwards. Okay, 6 weeks, 4 days, my bleeding actually stopped a bit. Like this is what was very torturous for me. It was like, okay, positive bleeding, not so positive bleeding. So 6 weeks, 4 days, 4 days, the bleeding stopped. It would bleed I would bleed in the morning, and then it would stop in the evening slash afternoon. When I would wipe, I would see small grains and like small clots. When I Googled it, a lot of people compared it to, which I can definitely compare that to, is like coffee grains. That's what it looked like. Very small amount, like not alarming at all. Like I still had hope. And then 6 weeks, 5 days, then that's where it felt like bleeding was happening more, like the start of my period. During this whole time of bleeding, like at 6 weeks and 5 days, we were on our trip up north. So I was kind of distracted. I was at the beach. I wasn't too sad and things like that. But when we were on that trip, on that 6 weeks and the sixth day, I got a lot of like liquidy discharge all of a sudden one night. So I instantly had a gut feeling. I'm like, this is not right. Like once I saw that liquidy discharge, I was like, this something about this is just not right. Um, so yeah, that was 6 weeks and 6 days, and then on my seventh 7 week 1 day, I was still bleeding on and off. The bleeding started to lighten up, and then that was the day of my ultrasound. Now at my ultrasound appointment, like this can be a whole nother video, but I had like a really bad experience. I've never been to this clinic before. I just felt like my experience wasn't professional, and just, I don't know, I felt like icky coming from there, especially because it's something so like private and intimate and something so like personal, that I felt like they would have a better rapport or like a better service. Even when it came to like changing to start the transvaginal ultrasound, like the ultrasound tech was still in the room. Like usually they step out, let you change, but she was like standing there staring at me change. um, and I was just like so like worried and thinking like nervous and just anxious about this appointment. And I don't know, she was just making really weird comments that just made me feel so uncomfortable. And I was like, why did I pick this location? Like it has the worst reviews, but it was like closest to my house. I was like, why did I pick this location? Okay, so when she was doing the examination, she was very quiet, not saying anything at all. It was her and then this other tech, like the receptionist person. They were the only two people in the office. So it was her. She was looking through everything. She had the whole camera, the whole computer, like monitor not facing me at all. So I couldn't see anything. She wasn't saying anything, things like that, just asking me how many weeks was I. And I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm 7 weeks and 4 days, 3 days. She was like, okay. And then after that, she told me to go to the bathroom, pee and come back. And then so while I was in the bathroom, I could hear her talking to the ultrasound person, and she was like, this is like a really bad result. Now I'm thinking, okay, I'm just paranoid. Maybe they're talking about something else, but there's like nobody. There was no other clients in the office. It was just me and the ultrasound tech and the receptionist. So she was saying, oh, this is really bad results. And I was like, oh my God, like in the bathroom freaking out. So whatever, I came back in still. I was like, I was like, can I get a picture of the ultrasound? And she was like, no, I can't give that information. I can't give that anything. I will give to your doctor. And I was like, all right then, lady. And then I cleaned myself, and then I left, and I went in my car, and I was like starting to cry a bit. And I called my partner, and I was like, this was like such a shitty experience that like, I don't know if it was just them or just because I like feel it in my heart that something is not right. So I came home very shortly after. Then my family doctor had called from and had received the results. And from her results, she said there was no gestational sac. So I was, I asked such a silly question. I was like, is it gestational sac somewhere? Is it somewhere else? Like, girl, where else can it be? I was in such denial. I was like, is it like in my fallopian tube? Is there something? They're like, no, everything looks great. Everything looks normal. It's just, um, there's like nothing. Obviously, they can see you're like bleeding and stuff, but there's nothing. So I took a second and digest that information, and I was like, okay, no gestational sac means no baby. Like it would be a little more reassuring if it was like an empty sac, but there was like no sac at all. Anyway, so after she said there's no gestational sac, I was really sad, and then she explained to me, this happens to a lot of women more often than you think. And if it was my first time experiencing a miscarriage, I said yes, because it obviously is my first time experiencing a miscarriage. Um, and she said, it's probably the combination of the egg and the sperm is why it wasn't viable, and that whole speech they give you. So I said, okay. And literally after that appointment, then I was like heavily bleeding till then. So that was that. That was that on the professional level. For the rest of the time being, I bled for 10 days straight. I felt like I was very numb at this point. I'm the type of person who takes information and like reflects internally and processes things maybe like quietly and internally to myself before I share. So that's sort of what I was doing. Like I felt like I was so numb at the time, like just no emotions about it whatsoever. But when I was coming closer to when I was consistently bleeding, like after the first week, then I had bursts of like anger. I had bursts of like very disappointment. I had bursts of like crying and like really sad and thinking what could be and what would have been and like why all of this and that. Um, but now that a little bit of time has gone by, like I think to myself, the silver lining out of all of this is I strongly believe like God doesn't give you something you can't handle. So there was a purpose for my experience, and I strongly believe that like I just strongly think that for the people who have pregnancy lost when their babies were so much older, it must be so difficult. Like I'm not minimizing my own experience or minimizing anybody else's experience who've had what they say chemical pregnancies, or who've had losses at like 5 weeks, 4 weeks, or even mine 6 weeks. It's you still feel it, and a loss is a loss. But for those who've had losses in their third trimesters or losses at birth, you guys are like the strongest women out there. Like that's so unimaginable. Like it's agony, and at the same time it's like such strength. So I'm putting that out there, and I have so much positivity and support for those who have lost as well. It's a beauty and a tragedy in itself. I am feeling a little bit isolated, but I'm a tough cookie, and I know the supports are out there. My daughter is here listening and laughing at me. But I know the supports are out there, and this TTC community on here is very supportive as well. So, yeah, that's why I really felt like I had to share. I did have a giveaway in my last video. That giveaway is still going on. We are 75% of the way there to reach our goal of 100 subscribers. So I feel like that 100 supporters will definitely make me feel a bit brighter. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your good wishes and your support as of far. It's definitely appreciated, and I'm definitely giving out to support to other women as well who is going through this, or other couples as well who are going through this. It's definitely definitely a roller coaster and a journey, but I'm here for the journey. So I guess you guys will see me in my next video, which I don't know when that's gonna be, but I will keep you guys updated. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.